Claret and Blue, an Aston Villa podcast brought to you by Birmingham Live. Hello, welcome back to the Claret and Blue podcast. My name is Dan Rowlands and I'm joined from a car park in Leicester with Ashley Priest. Ash, how are you, mate?
Yes, I'm all right, mate. I'm in the car park in Leicester. I like being in the car park in Leicester. Let's do it.
Yeah, Saturday night, here we go, party starting. We're here to talk about Leicester City 0, Aston Villa 0. Now, I will put a disclaimer up 30 seconds into the show saying I've not seen a single thing from today. I've been working on other stuff with work, so I've not seen anything besides the social media reaction and Steven Gerrard's post-match interview. And of course, Ash, all your written stuff today. It's kept me right up to date. So I just want to put that out there. I'm not going to hear and offer an opinion on the game. I've not seen it. That wouldn't be fair. I'm just here to ask the questions. So, first of all, Ash, just your general thoughts on the game and the result as a whole for us.
What do you want first, Dan? The positives or the negatives?
Let's go negatives first. Get them out of the way.
Negatives first. Villa were quite laboured today. Villa lacked a cutting edge up front, lacked a bit of quality when needed. And that urgency was missing again, despite Leicester playing 4 times since Villa last played. You expected a little bit more from Villa today. Negatives as well. Yeah, I thought Leon Bailey struggled on his big day today. I thought the defence was okay. Other negatives, not putting the ball in the back of the net when they needed to. Missed some big chances today. And overall, I think it's got a laboured showing. Easy to say, they're on the beach in all this game, but I expected a little bit more from the Villa today off the back of the Tottenham result, not playing in a couple of weeks and coming into Leicester today. The Leicester are expected to be a bit jaded from their exploits, but yeah, the Villa didn't really force the issue enough for me, Dan.
And the positives?
Good defensively today, much better shape, much better organisation, much tougher to beat. Clean sheet, always a plus. Mm-hmm. Gerrard loved that clean sheet today, and yeah, positives. I thought Watkins was okay, led the line all right up front today, but he got some change out of Fofana, which was quite good. And that's it really. Defensively, much better.
Gerrard said in his interview with Villa TV that Watkins was unplayable at times in the second half. Would you go that far?
A little bit. Like Gerrard, I saw something from Watkins today. He looked much more mean. He had the fire in his belly again. I thought Watkins has been a bit down in the dumps over the last few weeks. So a bit moaning a little bit, hands in the air. But today, I think it was good, decent value up front. Fofana's highly rated at Leicester, and he gave him the runaround for large parts today. Should have scored after 20 minutes. He had a free shot on goal from 18 yards. Put it straight down Schmeichel's pipe. Should have gone into the corners with that one. Had an effort in the second half as well, which is down Schmeichel's near side. So just that little finishing he's missing today. But other than that, he's running. He's prepared to beat a man one-on-one as well, which is much better. So yeah, Watkins a big plus today for me, despite not scoring.
Who's your man of the match? This is a bit how this kind of mini podcast is going to go here. I'm just going to ask you generic questions because I haven't seen enough from today to offer an opinion. So, man of the match?
Yeah, looking back on my ratings, I should perhaps give Watkins a 7 and the centre halves are all right today. But yeah, when the sub asked me at the Mail, who's your man of the match, I gave it to Watkins in the end, just edging it. I thought he did all right front, leading the line on his own today. And yeah, could have been one of the centre backs. But Mings and Conster did well today. Midfield lacking again for me. McGinn, Ramsey. I thought Douglas was okay. I think Gerrard brought him off to stop him from getting red carded because Douglas was getting caught up in it. And McGinn battled hard, but you need a bit more quality for me. So yeah, midfield looking a bit stale of late. Perhaps a change is needed in there. Gerrard talked up Tim Origboonham, big time in his presser. Big time, talked him up. I mean, you come on today, Tim, and he's massive, isn't he? Huge size for an 18-year-old, and did well. So expecting big things from him. Gerrard said he's always in early, Bodymore doing the gym work and stuff. So he's really dedicated, and Gerrard loves young Tim Origboonham. And I think Watkins just edges my man in the match.
Let's go back to team news then. When it comes out at 2:00, surprised me a little bit. I didn't think Bailey would be in there. I thought there might be that change at centre half with Chambers as well. You're obviously in the stadium or in and around it. What was the feeling amongst maybe Villa fans that you were seeing and in the press room with the team news that came out?
Yeah, very surprised to see Leon Bailey in after his underwhelming showing at Wolves on his last start. Fans have been clamouring for to see more of Emi Buendia. That didn't happen today. Gerrard went into detail about that afterwards. He said Leon Bailey's been the best trainer at Villa for the last seven to 10 days. He wants to keep rewarding people like that who perform in training well. I know training and playing's a different ball game, but Gerrard shuffled the pack slightly today with his two changes. I know one was enforced at left back, but yeah, he gave a huge vote of confidence for Leon Bailey. Said he's getting there. He missed that big chance after 7 minutes. I think his rustiness showed for the early parts. Gerrard explained his thinking behind Bailey. He wanted more ball carriers in the team, giving Leicester will put Villa under pressure. He wanted Bailey's pace from deep and running at the heart of Leicester, which he did that to some extent in the second half. And he was pleased with Buendia's little cameo later on as well, and hinted at his involvement next week against Norwich. He said his old club's rocking up at Villa Park. He'll want to prove them. He'll want to play him that one next week. So perhaps we could see Buendia next week as well. So yeah, the big surprise was seeing Leon Bailey, as it was Gerrard's comments afterwards saying he's been the best trainer, head and shoulders above the rest back at base, and you got to reward people who are on form in training. So he did that today. Bit of rustiness from Bailey. Second start since November. So yeah, we need him to kick on now. 6 games to go. We need to start getting into that rhythm, and then before you know it, the season will conclude. So yeah, disappointed in that sense.
If you can stay fit as well during those last 6 games.
Exactly.
I understand the rewarding of players. If you've been one of the best performers in training for 2 weeks pretty much, and then don't get in the side, I understand how that might come across. Did he do enough, do you think, today to warrant another start next week?
The thing is with attacking players, Dan, I think they need a run of games, and I think you need to take the rough with the smooth, as it were. I think he needs 2, 3, 4 starts. I think look when Watkins come out of the team and then he started to score again. I think attacking players, they need that run of games to find the consistency. It's very hard in that sense to play one, come in from after having 4 games off, play one and then expected to play brilliantly. I don't think that happens. So I think I'd like to see him just nothing to lose now. I think Villa are near enough safe, aren't they? I think I'd persevere with Bailey, try and get him a bit of form in the last 6 games, get that momentum going into the pre-season. And Gerrard spoke again about the importance of adding one or two to throw a few players in pre-season today again. So all eyes on that, but he wants to finish in a style with six to go.
There's a few choice comments about Bailey that I can't read out because of the language, but the sentiment amongst Villa fans is that he wasn't very good. At half time, I was seeing a few tweets saying, kind of what happened to Leon Bailey being this quick winger? He doesn't even seem to have the pace anymore. Do you think the injuries that he's had has affected his physicality? Yeah.
I mean, I think it was Dewsbury Hall. What decent player he's Dan. Leicester, young Dewsbury Hall midfielder. He outpaced Bailey. You're thinking, hang on a minute, that's Bailey's biggest asset. Where's that gone? I think he's not up to speed yet. Gerrard was backing him to the hilt in the presser just there, and then he said he's getting there, and he's obviously showing it in training. He must be rinsing his teammates in training in that sense. So yeah, I think we need to persevere. I know it's one of them, isn't it? I mean, he didn't play too well today at all, to be honest with you. But I think I'd stick him in against Norwich.
He's not going to get better if you don't play him, though, is he? I guess that's the crux of it. He's not going to improve if he's out of the team next week, and that's the last we see of him for the rest of the season.
Big money signing Dan as well. A lot of money spent on him. He needs to persevere with these, and Buendia will be looking for a knock next week as well.
If Bailey scores that chance in the first 7 or 8 minutes, it's a different conversation, isn't it?
There you go.
What was the formation, by the way? How did that forward line work? Was it Bailey on the right and Coutinho on the left?
Yeah, Gerrard said we made a slight change today, and looking at it, it looks like it went to Coutinho a little bit wider, try and get him involved a little bit more, which didn't really happen today for Coutinho. It was very much more of a 4-3-3 as opposed to the 2-10s. I think it was Bailey on the right, Coutinho on the left, Watkins down the middle, and I think it suited Villa defensively a bit more structure to him, a bit more organisation. And I thought Coutinho was underwhelming again today. Didn't even get on the ball at all, and a bit of frustrating one, that one.
What about Buendia then? That is the one that kind of polarises fans the most these days. I think that if Coutinho isn't doing it, you kind of think, I understand there's that relationship with him and Gerrard, and he's this big money potentially big money signing. He's a big name. Emi Buendia is the club record signing. He's come in with pedigree from Norwich. I know the Championship's different, but even so, you spend 38-40 million on him. He's clearly got ability. He's too good to only be getting 10 minutes off the bench. But then, how do you fit them all in? Has Gerrard said anything about Buendia and his kind of role as a substitute, maybe?
He called him a little warrior today. He'd be chomping at the bit to be involved, and he wants people with the fire in the belly to want to play and come into a team and make a difference. And it'd be good if you could mesh Buendia and Coutinho into one player. Yeah, I think you'd have a very good player there, because obviously Buendia runs his socks off, works really hard. Like you say, he's dogged in his approach. And yeah, it's a good old debate, Dan. I mean, Villa don't own Coutinho. Coutinho is Barcelona's player. Villa own Buendia, spent £40 million on him, near enough. So, yeah, I mean, it's a good debate to have. If you ask me, has Coutinho as a rival hampered Buendia? Of course it has. It really has. I know the pair are the best, really good friends off the pitch at Villa, Buendia and Coutinho, and I wish there was a way you could get them both in the same team. I think there could be a way. Buendia made a career out of so he's Norwich's player of the season out on the right hand side, wasn't he? For Norwich, I mean, Buendia on the right, Coutinho on the left, maybe the stance in that. No, that's Greg. So we'll see. But yeah, frustrating at the moment in terms of Buendia's match time. I think he'll play next week though against Norwich for sure.
I was just going to ask you quickly towards the end, but we'll do it now as soon as you brought it up. Changes for next week. Obviously, Norwich at home is a game you've got to be expecting Villa to win, haven't you, with where Norwich are in the league. Another home game, one of the last couple of the season.
Yeah.
And you've got two forwards there. And I mean, fans on social media seem to think Watkins wasn't very good. You thought he was right. Gerald thought he was good in the second half. But you've potentially got three forwards there that weren't really that great. So what happens next week? Do you persist with Bailey? Do you give him another go? Do you think it's time to drop Coutinho for Buendia? Danny Ings, not even in the conversation. He didn't come on today, did he? I don't think.
No.
£30 million Danny Ings. So what do you do next week for Norwich? Because no game is a must-win at this stage because Villa are safe, but losing at home to Norwich would be absolutely disgusting. So I do class that as a must-win. So what do you do to get it over the line next week?
Well, Gerrard said, he said no disrespect to Norwich, but more chances will be forthcoming next week against them, and teams like I know Burnley are scrapping for the lives, but Leicester are a decent team today, and I can't remember.
It's Leicester 9 unbeaten for them at home.
Is it for Leicester?
Mm-hmm.
I think Martinez had about two shots to save on target. I didn't see him get troubled, not at all, really, today. Martinez didn't pull off a super save today to keep Villa in it at all. So Villa kept Leicester at bay for large parts of that today. So defensively looked much better in the final third. Had a couple of chances today. Take them. You're on course to nicking an away win. So yeah, it's up to Gerrard this week. He has no qualms. He said he's got goals in the side. You got Danny Ings on the bench, Buendia, quality there, but yeah, it's just fitting the three into his system. I'd like to see maybe changing things up a little bit. Maybe Buendia as an 8 in there, or Coutinho dropping in. But like you say, I think he's pretty set on his Ramsey, McGinn, and Douglas Luiz trio. Yeah, Ramsey, McGinn didn't really put up 20 trees today. With Sanson being out injured as he is this week, there's no real cover in there. But he did say Nakamba's a bit off it. You're not expecting to start from him anytime soon, Dan, from Nakamba. Okay. Just battling his way back. He said Tim's ahead of him at the moment. So if a player was to come in, it's Tim or Bunham. That's what Gerrard said afterwards. So Nakamba's still short fitness-wise. Ulrich Bunham's the next man in, you'd say, in central midfield. Carney Chuck Mwaka can't get a game at the moment as his contract standoff continues. So, yeah, it's horses for courses. We'll see what Gerrard comes up with next week in terms of his attacking trio. For me, I think Coutinho could come out the side, but I can't see him doing that at home to Norwich. More space. I think Coutinho will start again. So, yeah, down to Gerrard, that one. I ain't got the answer for you, Dan.
I'd quite like to see like a 4-2-3-1 with two sitters, and I don't know whether this applies for Norwich at home, but Bunham and Luiz as a 2 potentially. We all know Luiz isn't a DM, but as you know, if you got Bunham is definitely a DM. Next to him, he could have that license to go forward a little bit. Buendia on the right, Coutinho at the 10, Bailey on the left.
Yeah,
Ings up front. What was the switch when Buendia came on? Because I saw a few people say Bailey looked better on the left. Was that the switch? Buendia went to the right and Bailey to the left.
Yeah, basically that was the switch there, and I think Buendia had a little decent cameo. To be fair, got stuck in, looked a bit of a threat. Gentleman just wide of the post as well, almost scored, and worked a little bit better. So maybe Coutinho's position at risk maybe, but like you say, with Norwich at home, I can't see that happening, but we'll see.
Just on Coutinho, you said there about his signing being kind of detriment to Buendia. Would you say maybe a rating out of 10 is a better way of doing it? Him joining Villa on loan, would you rate that as a success so far?
It's easy to get carried away with what we've seen of him. Obviously, he's Leeds at home, Leeds away, Man U at home, and his performances there. He does it in little spurts, doesn't he? A bit of magic. Spoke to a couple of players passing recently, and Coutinho in training is unbelievable, incredible. But it just shows it in flashes. In terms of the loan signing, I don't know, mate. It's just a tough one, really. I sit on the fence with that one. It's been good and bad. To be fair, he's been quiet and he's been sensational. So, a bit inconsistent, that one. How about yourself? I mean, looking from afar, Coutinho, how would you rate it? Tough one, isn't it?
What do you count as average? Is that 5 out of 10 or is that a 6 out of 10?
6 average.
6. Yeah, probably a 6, maybe a 7. I know when we've done stuff with Matt Kendrick, he'll often talk about enjoying moments in football and looking back on moments. And Coutinho is a bit of a moments player.
Yes.
He'll do things that you remember, little flicks or an assist or a pass around the corner or something. And football is a moments game, isn't it? And it's those little things that kind of excite you. So on that perspective, that is what Coutinho is. But overall, I don't know how many games he's had now, but for someone of that quality, I would probably like a little bit more output from and a bit more consistency. There's a comment there that sparked that last question saying that we see a flash of brilliance once every 3 games.
And they tend to be against the poorest side, don't they, Dan?
Yeah, if only showing up 12 games out of 38 isn't good enough for a player who's going to be warranting that much money. And it also puts Buendia into a 10-minute cameo role as well. So from that perspective, I can't see it any more than being a 5 out of 10 as average. Does these brilliant moments and looks magical, but if it's the detriment of Buendia and he only shows up a third of the season on average, is that the best use of resources? I'm not so sure.
I think we should leave it open for 6 games to go. I think Coutinho's got it all to play for in terms of his Villa Park future. Norwich next week. A lot of them have, like you say. Yeah, a lot of them have. I think that's the most intriguing aspect of covering Villa for the final 6 games. You're looking now, who's showing a bit for next season, who wants to be here next season, who's tossing it off a little bit. Whereas today, I thought overall, it was much improved considering what we've seen that final 45 minutes last week and games gone by against decent Leicester side who are flying in Europe, like you say, and decent at home as well. So, I think when Gerrard sits down as his beer later, I think he'll be pleased. And a bit of an update as well for those that don't know. Michael Beale, Villa's assistant manager, his family were involved in a crash prior to today, and Michael Beale had to dash off to see his family were okay, and then he came back and helped Villa with the warm-up and stuff. So Michael Beale's family's all right, thankfully, and Gerrard said his assistant was shook up early today, so that's a positive as well. So thankfully they're all right. But today I think the coaching staff, Gerrard himself, they'll have a bottle of beer, and I think they'll be pleased with that one. That came across in his press conference just now. He loves a clean sheet, Gerrard, and that's your base now. Norwich, Burnley twice to come. There's some more home games as well, so it's time to finish the season in style, and hopefully next week that'll be at Norwich, and yeah.
We were asked about the relegation battle in yesterday's preview, and you said to ask me again tomorrow. And Burnley don't play till Sunday, which kind of makes us a little bit pointless. So you'll probably say, ask me again tomorrow. It's another point further forward for Villa, 37 points now. As you just mentioned, Norwich next, Burnley twice, Crystal Palace, Man City and Liverpool.
Yep.
Yeah, that's 6 games, Smash that. People are kind of still looking at the 40-point mark for that absolute safety, that absolute kind of, I can sit back and relax now. As I've said many, many times on this podcast, I felt for, at least the last 2, 3, 4 weeks that Villa will end up being fine. So you said to ask you today, I will ask you today, just out of principle. Are you still worried about relegation, or are you any further forward with it?
No, I've seen enough today. Defensively, I've seen enough today. Look, I thought it could have gone disastrous today. I thought Villa started a little bit sloppy, and you're thinking, hang on a minute, you got Martinez shanking balls out and taking risks at the back, but they dug in. They dug in. They really did, and I've seen enough today to warrant. You know what? They're going to stay up. They'll be fine. Hopefully, win next week against Norwich, and move forward that way. But yeah, like you say, Burnley played tomorrow. They got Wolves, haven't they? Beat Wolves, and we'll see. But no, I think the Villa squad, the Villa players proved a little bit of a point today for me. And it was a 0-0, but I'll take the positives from that.
Yeah, it's a clean sheet, point away from home against a side that are above us. Not really much more you can say about it, is there really? And 0-0 is a pretty boring result all round, but given it stops the 4 defeats in a row, as I've said, a clean sheet's nice, something to build on. If you do beat Norwich next week, that gets you to that magical 40-point mark. Decent home atmosphere, some nice performances, hopefully, and then you kind of relax for the last 5 games of the season. Relax as much as you can, being a Villa fan anyway.
I'm in Benidorm next week, so I'm missing that one.
Oh yeah, we'll win then. I'm sure we always win when you're not at games and stuff. So yeah, good times.
Well, I don't know. I missed Southampton at home before 4-0.
Oh really? Oh.
So I'll stay away. Yeah.
Yes, please, mate. We'll call it a day there then. Thanks for your time, Ash, as always. We do appreciate it. Get yourself home safe and sound. Thanks to all the comments for tuning in, as always. Your prediction for the boxing, quickly, seeing as you mentioned it.
Dylan White knocks Tyson Fury out.
Oh,
you've heard it here first.
I don't know much about boxing, but I'm just going to say Fury just to go against you. So tune into the boxing if you want. Thanks for watching the Clark Blue podcast. As always, we'll be back with a 1982 special in the week, which I'm yet to edit, so I'm hoping it's going to come out. So subscribe to the channel, all those kind of things, and you'll get our content first. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you again next week.
Up the Villa.
Thank you for listening to Claret and Blue, an Aston Villa podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, then please do let us know. We love hearing your feedback. We'll be back soon with another episode, but until then, up the Villa.